Well, voting rights is the topic of discussion yesterday by Hillary Clinton. The former Secretary of State delivered the first in a series of planned policy speeches that are intended to lay out her ideas to restore faith in government. That's the sort of moniker of this campaign tour, or it could be a campaign tour. It's a style of one anyway. And everybody's wondering if Hillary is about to announce down the road a White House run. Katie Pavlich is the editor of townhall.com. .com News and a Fox News contributor. Katie, welcome. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
It's certainly, you know, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it could be a presidential campaign. But,
right.
You know, big picture issues, voting rights, she spoke out very strongly about yesterday, saying that anyone who says that racial discrimination is no longer a problem in American elections must not be paying attention. Where are we going here?
Well, it's no surprise that Hillary Clinton has been running for president for the past 5 years, in my opinion. And she said she wanted to take some time off after she left the State Department. It's only been a few months and she's back in the public eye. And she's taking on very serious, controversial issues. And what's going to be interesting here is how her agenda in the next couple months, she's going to start these new speeches next month, really lines up or goes against what President Obama has done, whether it's on the NSA, on voting rights. And let's not forget, when it comes to the voting rights issue, it seems controversial, but actually 70% of people support some kind of voter ID law in their state. And so we'll see where she goes when it comes to pandering to independents, or if she's going to try and lock down that far left base before going out into the general election.
Yeah, it also seems, you know, that she has talked a lot about running, you know, potentially as a woman, something that she kind of ignored or pushed to the back of the agenda last time around, and that perhaps she feels that to run in some way, if she decides to, as the first woman president, potentially, that was something that might have been a good arrow in her quiver that she might have neglected.
Yeah, and you saw in the 2012 election that the whole war on women theme actually worked to gain votes. Gallup polling showed that it worked for Democrats, and Democrats want Hillary to be the first woman president so they can say historically that they elected the first female president to the highest office, not only in our country, but in the world. And so, you know, she's probably going to use that to her advantage. But as I said, she's taking on other issues that aren't necessarily women's issues as well, and it's going to be interesting to see how she plays with those before President Obama's out of office, considering a lot of people have buyer's remorse when it comes to his policies, and they kind of regret not electing Hillary for the nomination the first time around back in 2008.
I mean, she said up and down several times that she was not interested in running. We have a quote from December 2012. I mean, it's, you know, maybe an exercise in futility, but she said, I've said I really don't believe that that's something I will do again, meaning, you know, seeking any kind of public office. I'm so grateful that I had the experience of doing it before. She talked about, you know, going back to Chappaqua and relaxing, and that she'd worked hard for a long time. You know, I guess none of those are too difficult to take back.
Well, they all say that, don't they? I mean, they all have to say they're not running before they're running. And everything has been set up for Mrs. Clinton along the way. You know, Bill Clinton's been out touting the Clinton Foundation. Hillary Clinton has served in pretty much every office that you possibly can. And now this is the last one on the list. And she has a lot of support behind her. Her grassroots efforts are already set up. And there's a lot of people ready to get her campaign going. So I guess it's time for Republicans to get someone on the road.
Sorry, before I let you go, what do you think is the biggest hurdle? Is it Benghazi? Is it something else?
Well, it's interesting because her main theme for these speeches is to regain public trust in government. And the fact is that a lot of people have distrust in government for very valid reasons, whether it's Benghazi, and she had a large part in that, the IRS, the NSA. There are a lot of things that haven't been addressed here that she's going to have to address if her real goal is to establish trust with the American public.
Yeah, which might take some spending cuts to convince some people that the reins are being pulled in a little bit.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see if she actually does go for that. Her husband did that kind of reform when he went into his second term. So we'll see. Katie, thank you. Very nice having you with us today. We'll see you soon.
You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.